Howdy folks, how you guys doing today? Today we're going to check out the Chord Mojo, which is this little guy right here. This is a portable headphone amplifier unit. It's got very good high build quality. Obviously it's made in England instead of other countries, which is actually kind of rare. It's very solid. There's no give or take to the shell, anything like that. I'll just show the inputs real quick. Well, actually, let's go over here. These are the inputs. So we've got a coax, which is a digital SPDIF coax in USB for a computer or a phone, charge port separate, as you can see, and digital optical in, SPDIF. And then we've got power button, volume up and down, and then actually 2 headphone outs, which is really handy for testing headphones. Really cool, really cool. And then I've got a couple other things on my dust here, just to give you an idea. This is kind of like my go-to amp. This is a X Duo 05 Plus. You kind of see the size differences there, about same width, give or take. Mojo is definitely smaller. And for reference, here is a phone, LG phone. So, you know, it's not that big, really. I like that part. So, moving on a little bit. Let me just pull the manual up for you guys. All right, cool. So, basically, I don't really need to describe all this. We got the power button, volume up and down, blah, blah, blah. But what's cool is, there's a little battery light on this guy, so let's turn it on. So you hold down the power button, lights come on, cool. And then there's a battery indicator, where are you? Right there. Which, according to the manual, this is like, I don't know, 25 to 50%, you know, like orangey, cool. So that's handy. Volume up and down, these guys change the color based on the actual volume. Let's see if we can see that a little better. There we go. So that's 10 to 25. And then it goes up and up and up, and then you blow your headphones up. Very powerful device. Incredibly powerful. And one of the things that actually bothers me a little bit about this is that it remembers the volume control on this. And then you combine that with the fact that you might have 2 headphones plugged in and you don't have 4 sets of ears, or 4 ears, 2 sets. So one headphone might be hanging off of one. Maybe the sensitivity is different on the headphones, and one's going to get real loud, the other might not, you know, things like that. So you got to be kind of a little careful with this guy. So I did use this for quite a long time. I got like, I want to say 3.5, 4 hours, basically at best, probably somewhere in that range. And then I'm just using like normal headphones, like my favorite Shure EJ07, and then we got these guys over here. I'm actually trying to test my best headphones with this thing to try and get a good idea of what it's capable of. These are the Critical Dawn, the Fearless Critical headphones. And then the other thing is that if you scroll down here a little bit more, you get a frequency output so that you know what you're sending into it, which is, you know, kind of handy. That's nice to know. And so speaking of other little things about this that I noticed, so charge time I think is about 2 hours. I wasn't incredibly sure because it's a little hard to tell when it's like, you know, 100%, but that's cool. Not too bad. I believe this little guy has a extra unit you can buy called a poly, which plugs into this side and produces a Bluetooth, and also well, you can put an SD card, so I guess you can use it as a playback device. So that extends this, but that little thing was like, I think $650, so that's really expensive. Yeah, kind of crazy actually. So that's an option. I'm going to turn this off. Hold that in. Cool. So the output impedance on this is, I actually measured it. It was like 0.7 ohm on both headphone jacks, which is actually really good. Maybe not the best you could possibly ever get, but for the price, which I looked up, which was like $500 right now on Amazon for this, yeah, pretty good. You can get lower for cheaper. Is that better? I don't know. Anyways, so let's talk about the sound quality of this guy. And by the way, I should say, I did plug this into a computer with the USB over yonder, and this guy, and I did actually pick up some USB noise. Now my computer is a dirty USB type computer. And everything I plug in with a USB is going to have some type of noise, which is, I don't know, whatever. I think other people have problems with that. So I generally was running this over the coax, SPDIF, or the optical. Or I would use my phone into the USB, which doesn't really have noise like a computer does for various reasons, you know. Okay, so talking about the sound. First thing I actually used was the Critical Dawns because I had them in my ears at the time. And what's interesting about the Critical Dawns is that on this device, so this I would categorize as analytical and yet warm, which is an interesting combo. Generally, maybe analytical type amps don't have a lot of warmth. Maybe the low end might be lacking. Not this. It's got a lot of low end. But it has a lot, and I mean a lot of micro detail. The texture of all frequencies is very, very, very good. This has incredibly good control over your headphones. So with the Dawns, which let me just pull up a graph so you have some idea of what I might be talking about. So the Fearless is in the blue graph, and if you look around 2.5K on this graph, you would see that the EJ07 is a little more energy. So why I'm bringing this up is because the Mojo with the Fearless, something about the mid-range is a little bit flatter than I enjoy, maybe slightly less musical with the Fearless. And so I thought, well, you know, that's cool. I tried a whole bunch of songs, and interestingly enough, some songs are really knock it out of the park, just amazing with the Mojo, and then some are like flat and lacking, maybe unmusical, which kind of threw me off. So, you know, moving on. So then I pulled up my EJ07, the Shure's on this graph, which is the green, which has more mid-energy at about 2.5K. And indeed, the Mojo does seem to like the EJ07 more than the Fearless, at least to my ears. It sounds a little more musical, a little more enjoyable. Still has incredibly good micro detail, texture, control of the drivers. The power is off the scale for IEMs. I mean, you know, this thing will definitely do over-the-head cans, planar, probably just about as big as or as much power hungry headphones as you can feed into it. But anyways, so obviously IEMs are really no problem at all for this. In fact, you got to be careful. I was really pretty much below medium most of the time on this thing. Yeah, so let's go back to just this. Let's see, anything else in the manual that might matter? Let's see, you can set the okay, you can set this Mojo to have a line level out, in which case it says I think you hit the both volume buttons at the same time, and then the headphone out turns into a line level out, which is really cool. You can plug it into, you know, an amplifier and well, another amplifier. Speaking of which, I plugged this into an X-Duo TA20, which is, let me just pull it up real quick. This is, I guess we'll pull up this guy. That's their website. Yeah, so what's real interesting, of course, this is a tube amp. It really measures not that well, but what it does have is a lot of tube tone. It's gooey and drippy with tubes, if anybody knows what that means. So yeah, like the Mojo, line level out into the TA20. Wow, that's just a really nice combination. I feel like the synergy on that is excellent. The sort of analytical prowess of the Mojo combined with the TA20's gooey, drippy, analog goodness just produces some really nice musical music. Everything about it is really nice with that combination. Mojo by itself, though, maybe not my favorite device. I do like it more with my EJ07 right here than the Fearless. So I'm thinking maybe EJ, you know, if your headphone has maybe like hype mids, I'm thinking like one of the headphones I know about is the Shure Tape, and the Tape has a lot of mids, like a lot. So I'm thinking maybe the Mojo might go well with that, since it's kind of like a, you know, flat. Or the gentleman that lent this to me mentioned that he thought it might have maybe a V shape in the mids, which is an interesting statement. I don't know if I hear that. I don't think amps really do that, but it is so flat that it might give the impression of that. So anyways, synergy. It's all about synergy. Nice fat MIDI headphones might go well with the Mojo, whereas flatter, more balanced, which I know Critical's favorite tuning is a balanced tuning, might be less impressive with the Mojo. So in terms of overall, do I like it a lot? Or do I like it? I do actually like it a lot. $500 did I say? Yeah, it's pretty expensive indeed. The X Duo is coming in at about $260, and then I add an op amp to this thing, make it a little better. So this is a bit more expensive. X Duo lasts maybe, it's a long time, 10 to 12 hours on a battery. This is like 3.5 to 4, maybe a little more depending. So yeah, it's nice and small. That's cool. But if you're going to run this as a portable amp, running a dongle into the USB jack, say in your pocket, you're going to break the USB jack. There's just no question about that. It's not ideal. So the poly thing, which turns it into a Bluetooth thing, is really expensive. So that turns this into a very, very expensive proposition. I have a hard time understanding where they were going with that in terms of the mobile aspect, but for a nice little desktop DAC, this is totally sweet. And if you're not afraid of breaking your USBs or your charge port on your phone, then that's excellent too. I have a little tip after this video just to kind of go over something I figured out with this. I just figured I'd make a separate video. So anyway, I wanted to say that, do I recommend this? I don't know. I think it's up to the individual listener to figure out their devices, how they synergize with their headphones, because not everybody has the same cables, the same headphones, the same experience, might have a different, audio chain going into their things. And so it's really hard to say, but I could say for sure this has enough power to power any kind of headphone you might ever have. It is extra small and portable, has a decent battery life. It's okay. And so overall, I would give this about a B+, I think. I don't know, on a scale of A being nice. I'd give this guy, we'll call it an A- for a couple of reasons. It's a little big, little unwieldy. I prefer the Mojo size in terms of pocketing, but both of these don't have any Bluetooth. So, and again, you have to do something else. And as just a little hint, the X Duo has a little Bluetooth module. And yeah, that could work well with something else. So that has to go into the end of this, which makes it even bigger. Again, this is all about portability. I'm a portable guy. I like to do my listening outside, hiking, doing things like that. So these type of devices appeal to me very much. And again, here's a LG behemoth for reference. I don't know if that's a behemoth. All phones are about this big these days. It's just big, right? So anyway, right on. Up next, I will talk a little bit more about a thing I figured about the Mojo. Excellent. Y'all have a great day. Talk to you on the next one.